So what we've learned this morning is about relational databases and the fundamentals of good database design and grouping data into related piles and then being able to relate that data together by unique IDs. These unique IDs, let me give you another vocabulary word. These unique IDs are called key fields because they're key to making the whole system work. Right? This is a key field. This is a key field. So they're the key field. So that's a word you have to know. These are key fields in another table, so over here they're called foreign keys. Right? So this is a foreign key. Okay? It's just a key field that's been stuck in some other table, so it's a foreign key. So we've learned putting data into related piles, the importance of having a unique ID for every record, right? That's the key field. It's key to making the whole system work. Without that, how are we going to relate stuff? Can't do it by first and last name. That's not going to be unique. We need a unique ID for each one. And then we create transaction tables and relate records between tables with transactions. And we give a prefix to all of our field names so that when we look at code later, we know where it's coming from. Customer table, actor table. And we break things up into small as atomic as possible, as small and atomic as possible. You know, like not just name, because Mary Lou, Todd, like what? Mary Lou Whitner, what? You know, it's like what's the first, what's the last? Mary Lou John, you know, like where does her first name end? Is it maybe she's Mary Lou John, right? And there is no last name there. Like, you know, you break it up into as small pieces as possible so you could work with each piece. You know, so address is going to be like, you know, 2020 East Lane. You know, maybe we want 2020 and East and Lane to be in each one. You know, like, so you start thinking about that. Like, how small do we break it up? We certainly are going to put city in its own field. We're going to put state in its own field. We're going to put zip in its own field. The city, I think what most people do is like the 2020 East Lane is its own field. You don't really worry about, you know, do I really want to be able to break it up by street? Does that have meaning? You know, that would be the question you'd ask yourself. So you give prefixes, so you know where it's coming from. We learned about data integrity and data validation, making sure that the data, you know, is entered correctly, and so when we get information back, it makes sense. We learned databases take data and turn it into information, so we can find out which customers haven't seen us in the last 6 months. We learned about referential integrity and what that means, and cascade delete and orphan records. This would have been an orphan record if it wasn't for cascade delete when 4 got deleted. So you're getting some of the terminology. How many people feel overwhelmed? Anybody? Yeah, you just have to remember, look, I just got to break it into, I'm glad I didn't see hands, break it into related tables, related piles of information. These are the customers, these are the movies. And then you have to look like, you don't want to store something more than once. So you have to look, you know, like, am I going to be storing in movies Tom Cruise's name over and over again? All right, forget it. We're going to make a cast table. Because I only want to enter something one time. I only want to enter Tom Cruise's name one time. And if I need to change it, I only want to have to change it one time. So I'll have an actor table and relate it to the movie table with a cast table. So you learn that. And then the last thing I'm going to teach you about is like this one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-many relationships. And so we're going to see that in the next videos. We're almost out of time.